Hello everyone, good morning. Day 17 of 30 Days to an Elevated Mindset. Coach Michael P. here. How are you doing today? It's a good day. I've got my coffee. I've got my pup over there just looking out the window, watching the world go by. And I've got the people who are watching these videos, and I truly appreciate that and appreciate your feedback. And I'm glad it's helping you, for some of you, getting you to see different ways to think about your reality and your mindset. And today we're going to talk about something known as the representational system. Now that's a very long, fancy word to simply mean, how do you take in information? So if you remember, I talked recently about every experience we've ever had. We have had that experience through one of our five senses, right? See, smell, taste, touch, and hear. I think I got them all. See, smell, taste, touch, hear, five. And so we're gonna take smell and taste out for now, just because usually those are subordinate to the other ways we take in information. Even if we're eating food, typically we may look at the food before we smell it, before we taste it, right? So it's, what's the primary way you take in information, or you take in and process information? And I'm going to throw in another one. It's known as auditory digital, and this is really thinking, sort of, if you're inside your head. And this is going to relate to something we talk about tomorrow as far as strategies go. But for right now, let's take seeing and hearing and feeling, touching, feeling kind of thing, right? Kinesthetic is what it's known as. Which of these are how you choose to experience things? So you're learning something. Which would you prefer to do? Would you prefer to listen to an audio of someone explaining it to you? Would you prefer to watch somebody do it? Or would you prefer to just jump in and do it yourself? Right? If it's easier for you to take in information by listening, then the primary way you experience the world is auditorily, right? Through sound, through what you hear. If you like to watch things, then if you're more visual, then you're taking in the world that way. If you like to feel and touch and do, and you're more experiential, you take in the world that way. Now, it's not to say that you're one and not the other. It could be like, say for me. So one, I am very visual. I see things. That is the way they come into my typically they come into my conscious reality first. I'm thinking sometimes noises will come into my reality, and especially noises that irritate me. But typically I am more of a visual person. I prefer to see things. When I'm looking at something or trying to understand or decide something, it really helps me to see it, to visualize it. Even if it's just sometimes when I'll do a really rough draft layout of something, like if I'm, sometimes I like to get creative, and maybe I want to build a web page or something, and I really just kind of have to lay out blocks and sections just to get a sense of what it looks like, to know I'm going in the right direction. So for me, I'm much more visual to start with. I'm also very kinesthetic. I need to touch things. I need to feel them. I need to experience them. I see things visually first, but the way I learn, I really learn at the deepest level, is by doing it. I love to, get in and tinker and take something apart and put it back together and figure out how it works. And then I am auditory digital. I think in my head a lot. I'll think through things and think through scenarios. And then auditory is probably the last thing for me. So today's really just an awareness exercise of just thinking about, how do things come into your reality first? Here's a thing, and this will help us when we talk about our strategies tomorrow. Think about this today. Think about something you've bought recently, and let's make this an in-store purchase. Something you bought that you really like, you know. I mean, it could even be, let's say, something like a jar of mustard or something. But I would probably would be better. Think about something you really wanted, like clothes or an appliance or jewelry or furniture or something like that, like a desire. And what was your process? How did you first become aware of it? Or if you walk into a clothing store, what is the very first thing that makes you aware of something? And then the second, what do you do next? And what do you do next? And we'll talk in more detail about that. But right now, for today, again, just start being aware. Try to get a sense of, am I more visual? Am I more kinesthetic? Am I more auditory? You know, which ones of those just feels more right for you? Today's daily practice, joy. Celebrate joy, experience some joy. Think about what brings you joy. Probably get tired of hearing it, but so much joy and fun and happiness with me is just with Lucky. He's just at this stage of transitioning from puppy adolescent into an adult where there's some calming of him, and yet just some, as Rihanna says, goofy Gordon Gorgeous, you know, in him, just being a fun, goofy, silly puppy. But he just gives me so much joy. I love him. Okay, everyone, have an awesome day. I'll see you tomorrow.